very strict, and she didn't like John spending all his time playing the guitar.
So John had a difficult childhood. And what about the Beatles? When did this amazing pop group start playing together?
In 1958, John met Paul McCartney at art school in Liverpool. This was the beginning of their musical journey together. Shortly afterwards, George Harrison joined them. At the beginning, the band was called the Quarrymen, but in 1959, they changed the name to the Beatles.
Interesting. Where did the band play?
Well, in Liverpool, of course, at the Cavern Club. But they gave their first series of performances in Hamburg, at the Star Club, in the city's red light district. The Beatles were very happy and had lots of fun in Hamburg. It was here in Hamburg that they developed their look, and in particular their famous hairstyle. A hairstyle that suddenly became fashionable all over the world.
Ah, that hairstyle. They were called mop tops, weren't they?
Yes, that's right.
What was their first #1 single?
The single, Please Please Me. It was an immediate success and went to the top of the charts.
That's right.
Well, the four lads from Liverpool played together as the Beatles until 1970. Their last album was Abbey Road. Then the band broke up.
To the disappointment of all their fans. And then, what did John do next?
He started a successful solo career. Imagine and Plastic Ono Band were popular albums.
Did John ever try to reunite the Beatles?
Oh, no. His relationship with Yoko Ono became very, very important for him. John and Yoko started to get involved in politics. They began to spread a message of world peace.
And when was he killed?
John was killed on the 8th of December, 1980, outside his New York apartment in the Dakota Building.
Who killed him?
Mark David Chapman, a Beatles fan.
And why?
Well, he was crazy. He was mad. He said Lennon had betrayed the ideals of his generation.
Yes, well, John was only 40 when he died, but he certainly isn't forgotten.
No, he certainly isn't forgotten. Today there's a garden in Central Park called Strawberry Fields to remember John's life. It's near the Dakota Building.
OK, so John Lennon. John Lennon, perhaps the greatest pop musician of all time. Thanks to our expert, Tony Moore.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you again next week for another edition of Music World. Goodbye. The Beatles, what a band. A band is a group of musicians that play together. For example, a jazz band. When the band plays pop or rock music, we often say a pop group or a rock group. A musician is someone who plays music. There are jazz musicians, classical musicians, pop musicians. We say that someone plays music or plays a musical instrument. For example, John played the guitar. I play the piano. Do you play an instrument? A singer is also a musician. Their voice is their instrument. They sing. A musician plays music and a singer sings songs. John was also a songwriter. A songwriter is the person who writes a song. And the words of a song are called lyrics. The lyrics of John Lennon's songs are very beautiful. The Beatles recorded lots of albums. An album is a record or CD with 8 or more songs on it. A single is a record or CD with just one song. Often a single becomes very popular and we say that it goes to the top of the charts. The charts is the list of the most popular songs that week. So when a single goes to the top of the charts, it means that it's at the top of the list and very popular. When a song is #1 on the list, we call it a #1 single. Please Please Me was a #1 single. But bands also play live in front of an audience. We say they give a performance. So we can say, the Rolling Stones are playing in Rome tonight, or the Rolling Stones are giving a performance in Rome tonight. A performance can be just one song or piece of music, but when a band or singer plays lots of songs, we call it a concert. Unfortunately, some bands, like the Beatles, separate, and we say they break up. The Beatles broke up in 1970, and John Lennon started his solo career. A solo career is when a musician records songs alone, without the band. It's time for me to say goodbye to all you music lovers. See you next time.
Good evening, and welcome to this week's edition of Let's Talk. In the studio with me this evening are our commentators, Marie and Tom. How are you?
Fine, thanks, Eric.
Very good. Today, let's talk. Let's talk about one of the world's most famous men in the world. I mean Bill Gates, the world's top businessman and the richest man in the world. I have a question. How did he become so successful?
I can answer that question with one word. Windows, the most widely used computer operating system in the world.
Yes, that's true. It's almost every computer in the world uses Windows. Let's go back in time a little. How did Bill Gates arrive at where he is today?
Well, I'd say thanks to his business skills. At the end of the 80s, when he founded Microsoft, he understood where the computer industry was going.
That's right. At that time, computers were very big, very expensive, and only large companies could use them. Gates understood that smaller, personal computers, the PCs we use today, were the future. Of course, he wanted all these PCs to use his software.
So he understood 20 years ago how we use computers today. That's a good businessman.
But of course you need more than intuition to become the world's top businessman.
Yes, of course. To become the world's #1 businessman, you need an aggressive business philosophy. For example, from the beginning, Bill Gates did everything to stop the illegal copying of Microsoft programs. Until this time, people didn't buy software programs. They shared them freely or copied them. Bill Gates created the market for computer software.
But that's not all. Bill Gates was very ambitious too. Do you know he wanted to be a millionaire by the age of 30?
Yes, and he worked very, very hard. For many years, he only slept 6 hours a day. He was a real workaholic.
So he also helped coffee producers too.
I guess so.
After he became a multi-millionaire with Windows, what did he do next?
He turned his attention to the internet. Initially, he didn't think the internet was important. This was a business mistake. Microsoft developed Internet Explorer 4, and 3 years later, Microsoft won the browser war and destroyed its competitors.
So today, almost every computer in the world uses a Microsoft program.
That's right. Well, Bill Gates is a very, very successful businessman. Is there anything about him to make him likable or just a bit human?
Well, his charity work, this is very important for him.
Bill and his wife Melinda now work for the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. In 2000, Bill gave half his fortune to the foundation to fund charity work.
This is fantastic. Bill Gates, a successful man with very good business skills, but with a big heart too. Well, today we have learned about one of the most important business leaders of our age. Thanks very much, Marie, and thank you, Tom. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. And goodbye to you. And see you again soon for the next edition of Let's Talk. Well, Bill Gates is definitely the most famous businessman in the world, but I didn't know he was so generous. A businessman, or businesswoman, is a person who works for a company or for themselves, and they are always looking for ways to make money. To be a successful businessman, you need good business skills. In other words, good ideas to sell more and to make more money. Bill Gates has very good business skills. He founded Microsoft. To found a company means to start a company. And Bill Gates founded Microsoft because he knew where the computer market was going. What is the computer market? The people who buy computers. The people who buy a product are the market of that product. Bill Gates even created a market for computer software. To create a market for a product means you are the first person or company to sell that product. He also destroyed his competitors. Competitors are the people who sell the same product as you. Of course, to be so successful, Bill worked a lot. We say he was a workaholic. Workaholic comes from the word alcoholic, a person that drinks a lot of alcohol. And he became a multi-millionaire with his business philosophy. A multi-millionaire has lots of millions of euros or dollars. Someone who has 1 million is called a millionaire. A business philosophy is how someone wants to run a business. To run a business means to manage a business. Bill Gates runs his business very well. And not only, he gave half of his money to a foundation, which is an organization that funds charity work. To fund something means to give money to an activity. And charity work is when people work to help each other. So, very smart, but also very generous. I think I would be generous like Bill if I were a multi-millionaire too. See you soon.
Now let's watch the whole episode together. Look at the subtitles carefully and listen out for the language points we've studied, okay? Enjoy your listening. Hello and welcome back to English Today. And this is DVD 6 and the second DVD of your elementary level. And in this DVD, you will see another 3 episodes of our story, That's Life, followed by our special TV programs. In the first, a music expert talks about John Lennon, followed by a business debate about Bill Gates. Then, in the grammar section, we will study the regular and irregular verbs of the past tense, adjectives, and the use of should for giving advice. Okay, so enjoy your studying and have fun. Hi there, and welcome back for another lesson about the past tense. In the previous lesson, we learned how to use the verb to be in the past tense. But in this lesson, we're going to learn how to use all the other verbs in English in the past. Now, we divide English verbs into regular verbs and irregular verbs. Let me give you an example. I like music. In the past is I liked music. That's regular, and it's very similar. Like, liked. But I go becomes I went. Now you can hear that's irregular. In the next episode, we will hear many examples of regular and irregular past tense verbs. In this particular episode, Anne is alone at home. Alice is at an exhibition, and Jack is about to come home. Now, Anne is very attracted to Jack, and she thinks that tonight is the perfect night for a tete-a-tete with Jack. So she makes herself beautiful, she dresses up, and she prepares his favorite dish, lasagna. Let's see what happens.
Hi, Jack.
Yes, that's exactly what I told him. I sent him an email asking for more information. No, I didn't. I'm sorry, I didn't have enough time today. Okay, I'll call him in 10 minutes. Bye.
Hi, Jack. So, did you have a good day?
No, I didn't. It was a horrible day, Anne. I had a lot of work to do. First, I met some clients in the city. We met at 9 o'clock and finished at 2. After that, I checked the monthly loss and profit accounts twice, and then I wrote some letters. I am so tired.
Well, now relax.
Have a glass of wine.